Good evening, people, and God bless you. Some of you are probably wondering why I have a picture of the Olympic medalist, award-winning Gabrielle Douglas up here on my screen. Yes, it's a very nice picture of her actually on my computer screen, but somehow the camera, when I take it with the camera, it doesn't even nearly do her the justice that I think she's worthy of. Gabrielle Douglas, in my view, is one of the most attractive young ladies in the world today. She's in very good shape, obviously, and she is very beautiful. And those idiots, I guess I shouldn't call them names, but really those ignorant people that are getting all hung up over her hairstyle and things like that really need to can it. She is absolutely beautiful, and I'm sorry that I don't have a better picture of her, but this is a very nice picture of her on the screen itself, but not through my camera. It's a little fuzzy. She's a beautiful woman. Now, I want to emphasize the word woman here. Okay, I understand that she is 16, but for all intents and purposes, she is a woman. I would probably, if I were a betting man, lay odds that she would have no problem whatsoever giving birth to a child. I'm sure that she is of childbearing age. She is a woman, and she is a very young and very attractive woman. But I know they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder and whatnot. But I would think that anyone who wouldn't agree that she is an attractive woman is blind. But that's my view, and that's my, leaning or propensity or whatever have you. But that is really not the reason why I have a picture of this lovely woman on screen. Tonight, I got into a little bit of a discussion with some people on Facebook, mainly women. Somebody had put up a picture of our precious Gabrielle dressed in a hoochie outfit, on kneeling for whatever reason, and bearing a considerable amount of skin. I'll just leave it at that. The whole presentation here is not just about Gabrielle. Okay, I understand this is Hollywood, this is media, but you see in this picture right now how she's dressed. That's what she is. She's an athlete, okay, and she's dressed appropriately and she is dressed modestly. But the media is obviously doing their uttermost to transform her into eye candy and make her a sex object. Now, this is what I do not understand about women. They talk about how they don't want to be treated or regarded as sex objects, but they allow themselves to be presented as precisely that. And I am tired of listening to all these whiny complaints from these ne0-feminist misandrists that have next to no respect for manhood or what it means to be a man. Any normal young man who looks at a half-dressed woman, that means over 50% of her skin is exposed, is going to respond to her in some sort of physical attraction. This does not mean that they're perverts. Now, I was accused of being a pervert this evening because I was trying to explain how this process works. I'm not a pervert, and I'm so sorry that so many mothers do not properly educate their daughters. I guess maybe the mothers don't even have the knowledge to educate their daughters about this. So that is the reason I'm making this video. It's actually an audio presentation. I make audio presentations. Rarely do I ever make videos, unless they're family videos. But I think that part of the misunderstanding has to do with the fact that women do not understand the physiology of men. Women in general just simply do not have the same propensities from a physiological standpoint. So as a result, something that looks pleasing to their eyes is fine and okay, and they do not even consider what effect that has on the male chemistry or the male mindset or how the male brain is wired. Okay, it is natural for a male to be physically attractive to a half-dressed woman. Okay, it's natural. It does not make him a pervert. Okay, he is hardwired in his DNA. His flesh is designed to respond to that sort of presentation. And really, it's sad that a lot of young men are not actually counseled to be aware of this and to understand that that's okay. That's how they're wired. That's how they are made naturally. Because a lot of times young men are not even aware that their physiology is responding to what they're seeing. And often they find themselves in situations where it's a little too late. And so I want to elaborate on that a little bit. I want to explain how that when a man sees a half-dressed woman, even though he himself may not be attracted to her, his flesh is, his body is, okay? His DNA is going to respond to what the eyeballs are seeing. And so he may even feel, what's the word, invaded. Okay, that's right, invaded by her beauty, invaded by her, it's an imposition. Half-dressed women are often an imposition to men who are trying to live decently, and men who respect themselves and really don't need half-dressed women flashing their cleavage, their buttocks, or their bare legs before their faces. And there is such a thing, I know it's not in vogue, but there is such a thing as modesty. There's a place for it, okay? You know, if a woman wants to dress skimpy, that's fine. She can do it in her own space. She can do it with her own energy, and she can do it on her own time. She does not have to do it on mine. She does not have to do it on someone else's. Okay, but we see here that women generally, for all intents and purposes, don't bother dressing that way unless there's somebody to look at them. And so, again, I wonder, are they really dressing for themselves? Well, in a way, yeah, they are. They're dressing for that ego fulfillment. They're saying, look at me, as they expose their cleavage and their bare legs and whatever else have you. Okay, I'm sure that to some extent women also have the same sort of appreciation for beauty that a man shares. But you know, beauty, pearls being cast before swine, and beauty, pearls being cast before the general public, to me, is very distasteful. All right, it's whorishness. All right, and I feel so bad that such a beautiful lady here is now being transformed into eye candy. All right, okay, listen. If you don't understand how a man's physiology responds just to what it sees, get educated and learn. Because although I do understand that, they've got the fluoride in our water, and they've got, all the sex inhibiting substances and the antidepressants that they're feeding people today, and all those substances, those chemicals in our food, in the name of population control that they're feeding us and destroying our genetics with. Although they're making all those efforts, I'm telling you, nature doesn't come crashing down to the ground so easily, and not without a fight. A man naturally responds. I said respond, I did not say react, okay? A man's physiology naturally responds to a skimpy clad woman in a sexual manner. That is why it is important for women to dress modestly. Okay? But women think, oh, it's my body. I can dress the way I want. Well, fine. Do it in your own space. Do it on your own time, not on mine. I don't like the idea of looking at another man's wife half-clad, showing me what sort of cleavage she has. Okay? And I don't like looking at another woman I've got no business looking at like that. And it can happen so automatically, and I know these women just love it when the men Google. Okay? No, please, give me a break. I'm a man. Respect my manhood. Okay? If you want to dress like that in the privacy of your own home, that's fine. By all means, go ahead, do it. Enjoy yourself. Fill your boots. No problem. Or better yet, dress like that for your man. Because that's what that kind of exposure is for. It is not for the public eye. It is not for the whole world to look at. It is not for young men who are struggling already with their hormones to begin with and don't have fathers to properly instruct them how to get a grip on themselves. Pardon the pun, it was not intended. Okay? But this is, you see, women do not respect that about men. Women, I'm telling you, typically, women do not respect a man's sexuality today. They have no idea that they're playing with fire. Over time, when a young man gets that many images in his mind, if he doesn't start gravitating to some right sort of thinking, one day he's going to do something that is really inconvenient. We wonder why there's so many rapists in the world. She doesn't have to, his victim does not have to be scantily clad or anything. By the time, he's at that level, it doesn't matter. Any victim will work. But you see, by that time, he has been bombarded with so many images and testimonies and verifications that women don't care about his sexuality. Just as long as they can flaunt it and get some sort of reaction from him, they're happy with it. No, I know from whence I speak. And I did not let my daughters under my roof dress like that, skimpy, okay? And I will not allow it. Future tense. If women only knew what a half-naked woman does in the eyes of a young man. He doesn't have to be a pervert, okay? He can't help his flesh any more than a woman can stop herself from menstruating, okay? He can't help it. He is wired that way. He is wired to respond that way. And it's high time women start respecting that about men. Now, if men did not respond so readily our population would probably dramatically decrease. And if women, if a half-naked woman didn't affect a man at all, or if she was completely naked and he had no response whatsoever to that, I don't think there'd be any people left on the earth. What we need to understand here is that we are wired differently. Men are not wired the same way as women. And there is no way in the world somebody is going to tell me, oh, you were just taught that. Ha! I learned that about myself. And I learned that I'm not a pervert because of it. What I had to actually learn was that I was not a pervert just because my flesh naturally responded to a scantily clad woman. You know what? Why do you think porno magazines sell so much? Please, women like to pretend innocence, but they don't fool me. I've been around the block a few times. I'm not some young teenage boy here. I'm a full-grown man, a husband of 2 wives, okay? The wife of my youth and my current wife, okay? And I've had 5 children, and I think I know a thing or two about sex and male physiology. And I've read many good publishings by medical doctors and gifted men and women in this field who understand the business of male sexuality. And I'm telling you the truth. It's a reflex reaction. Scantily clad woman, hormones start flowing into the bloodstream. Within 5 minutes, he has an erection. There you go. That's the deal, folks. Okay? He can't even help it. Like I said, he can't help it any more than you can stop yourself from having a period. Ladies, wake up and start respecting men. If you want men to respect you, start respecting men. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. God bless you.